if you can make them 10%, 20%, double, triple, 10x more productive with AI, the ROI is so obvious, you don't need a business case.
Google is, obviously one of the top companies in the world. I think they're going to be in that same sphere at the end of the decade. I think there's only going to be a few companies that are at that $10 trillion mark. I think Apple, Nvidia, and Google will probably be the three richest companies in the world at that time.
There's no company with 1 billion plus users yet.
That's true. Yeah, OpenAI is knocking at the door. They're at like 900-ish, I believe. And Google's at 700?
I think the last published number was 750 million.
Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the MacMan, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome to another amazing episode of Bullish and Beyond, where we are always bullish on stocks, crypto, and life. And I'm here with an amazing special guest today. His name is Paul Jellison. He works at Google. He's on the Google AI go-to-market team. And wow, we are bullish on Google. They just hit a new high this last week. It's incredibly exciting. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thanks, Brian. Love the name of the podcast, Bullish and Beyond. I don't think people are bullish enough about where things are going. Happy to be here.
I love it. How bullish are you on life?
About as bullish as you can be. Everyone always tries to hold you back, and most people are bears, right? So I'm glad you're coming.
So much negativity out there. We got to bring more positivity to this world. That's what I feel.
It's true. I agree, 100%.
So you're at one of the top companies in the entire world. I mean, everyone knows who Google is. It's a company. It's a verb. It's everywhere. We use it every single day. So that's incredible that you're working for them. And, they have one of the biggest frontier models in the world. How come you guys have one of the top frontier models and are winning right now?
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that. It shouldn't even be a question. Google's been an AI company for a long time. And if you think about GPT, the T in GPT is transformer, and that was invented at Google from the research paper, attention is all you need. So we kind of invented the technology that is underneath all of the modern frontier Gen AI models. So we are one of the, that's why.
So cool. I mean, you guys invented that, the T, now you got the TPU. TPU is crushing.
Tensor Process Unit. It is we're actually on our 8th generation. So it's something we've been doing for a long time.
Wow.
I would say before
the market only just heard about it, or at least someone like me that is reading about tech and investing. It seems like this last year is when the TPU kind of took off.
Yeah, I find that funny because I've been at Google Cloud for 8 years. We've always rented out TPUs for machine learning type workloads. That's what it was originally designed for. But once the Gen AI revolution was kicked off by OpenAI, we'll give them that. The TPUs have become very popular, and they're obviously now being tuned for training with our 8T. That's what we announced just 2 weeks ago. 2 chips now. The 8T, 8th generation for training, and then 8I, the 8th generation for inference. So what we're finding, much like NVIDIA, these are 2 different workloads, and they can be tuned for those 2 specific things. Training the frontier models, and then delivering at scale to billions of users.
I feel like as someone reading about it, I hear more about it being used for that inference side. And, before it was more like, NVIDIA GPU, more on the training side. Is the TPU, is your guys set up just as good, that one for, training as it is, for inference?
Well, it's designed by our chip team, specifically to deliver at scale, at Google scale. So if you think about Google,
that is hella scale.
9 products with 1 billion users and above, 6 with 2 billion above, and there's actually one now with 3 billion users. Can you guess what?
Gmail.
Nope.
Maps.
Nope.
What?
Android.
Android. Okay. I was going to say Google Voice next. Android. Wow.
That's
So
right.
you guys have 3 billion users on Android, and Apple has over 2 billion users on iPhone. So that's basically the majority of the world.
It truly is. And so when you step back and you go, okay, where's Gen AI at? We're not even there's no company with 1 billion plus users yet.
That's true. Yeah, OpenAI is knocking at the door. They're at like 900-ish, I believe. And what, Google's at 700?
I think the last published number was 750 million. They said it early Q4 last year. And so we thought they would breach the billion user mark by now.
Yeah.
But they haven't. We haven't either. We have not proclaimed that.
The last numbers I saw, I think OpenAI in their most recent report, not public necessarily, but I think it was around 900. And I think Google was around 750 million.
That was the last number that we've given. But that says a lot about where we are in the
It's
AI
huge
adoption. It's getting
so we're like the second inning.
People are using Gmail more, Maps more, Android and iOS far more. So yeah, second inning is a good place. I would say we're in the second inning as well.
Some people are, I talked a lot about investing on this show, obviously, and I think people are apprehensive to buy into some of these names, thinking that they're, overvalued or, overbought and stuff like that. But I'm trying to explain to everyone that we are in this, we'll call it second, third inning. It's like we're really just getting started. I mean, the cell phone revolution is still growing and it's been around for 20 years. But the AI, it's only started. I mean, the ChatGPT is basically like the, consumer kickoff, and that was the end of 2022. So it's only been 3.5 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think when you just think about human adoption, there's a curve. There's the early adopters. There's the people who are in the middle that look at the early adopters for direction. And then there's people who just will not use the technology at all. And we know those folks as well. So it takes time for these technologies to proliferate through society, for sure.
So seeing how this is going to grow, what is the biggest barrier to enterprise, really adopting this AI at scale?
Okay. Yeah. So I work mainly on the enterprise side today. As you introed, I'm on the AI go-to-market team. I've been on this team at Google for about 2 years, basically once Gemini took. Okay.
So exciting.
And I think we do have to differentiate that there is a consumer adoption curve and there's an enterprise adoption curve. It's quite different. Enterprises, much more complex businesses. The ones I work with are, basically within the Fortune 1000. They're large existing businesses. And I would say it's even slower on the enterprise side.
Okay.
But just like we saw with consumerization of iPhones and these types of things, it almost always starts on the consumer side. People start using this in their personal lives, and then they start demanding it at work.
Yes. Do they not know where to spend the money to get the best, return on their investment, or what's kind of holding back that enterprise adoption?
I mean, it's a good question. You bring up a good point. Businesses will always look at things through a business case lens. What is the ROI? I get that question all the time. What productivity gains will we get? What is the business case for us to invest millions of dollars into bringing AI to our employees or in different use cases across the business? I have come to the conclusion that this is a general purpose technology.
Yeah.
Right. I see it much like the internet, or issuing someone a computer, or issuing someone a smartphone. It can be used for so many different things. It's really actually difficult to enumerate or put a value to it. And each company is going to be different. Some companies, they are more on the early adopter curve and everyone wants a tool, and they may buy multiple assistants and tools for their employees.
Yep.
Then I have others that block them all, saying, oh, this is a security risk. But you always have those people within the companies that are.
That's what the last company I worked with did. I was trying to teach them an AI masterclass, and they basically blocked it entirely. And they're like, no one should be using chat. Don't put any company information in, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, don't put the most proprietary, confidential information in the world in there, but everything else, who cares? Let it do the work for you, is my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's frustrating coming across those companies that are trying to hold people back. And it's like
HR just is like puts the block on it.
What I tell them, there's two ways to position it to them. One is, you're going to fall behind. Your
Oh, heck yeah, they will.
your competitors are using this stuff and they're going to be able to move faster than you. The other way to put it is, would you like a competitive advantage against your competitors? But people like you and me, the way we see it is everyone's going to have this. So the sooner that you move in onto it, the faster you're going to get those gains.
Yeah. All right. If you were the CEO, what's the first thing that you'd want to do with AI?
Well, it's actually what you just said. It's just give people the tools.
Give an
Allow them to
opportunity.
start experimenting. I think this is also kind of, these programs are more bottom up. So I'll go talk to a CIO, a CTO, and they want to come up with these very specific use cases of how people are going to use it. Maybe it's agents. Agents is what we're talking about mostly these days. We're kind of moving assistants. But what I tell them is, you need to put these tools into your employees' hands, and you will be surprised. You'll be surprised at what they come
See
up
how
with.
they use it.
And it starts to flourish. So you put them, let's say you work at one of these companies, you're going to go find 10 ways to make yourself more productive. And then you're going to build, let's say, an agent that does a certain workflow for you. And then you're going to share it with your team. So now you've gained the benefit, and now you've shared it across your team, and it just starts to accelerate. And so I actually advise, get it into people's hands. Maybe you don't have to have a perfect business case. Let's go put it into your organization and let's observe over a year, and that will drive the business case, right? And what I will tell you is, there isn't a single company that starts on this journey and then pulls out.
They'll go deeper.
They're not returning.
I know. Okay. Return my Gemini. Yeah. Do you guys? Is there a money back guarantee? Like, is there anything like that with what you guys are doing at the enterprise scale?
I mean, we have.
Can you return it? Like, hey, I did $100 million deal. I want my money back.
You don't get your money back, but you can certainly turn it off. Right, you don't have to continue to purchase.
Okay, I got it. So hey, we use three months of it. We can dial it back. Okay.
Yeah, they're often sold in subscriptions. Sometimes they're managed via usage. So we're starting to see with Claude Code, they were selling subscriptions and they were losing a tremendous amount of money. I think they were selling to developers 200 a month subscriptions
for unlimited, no more.
Yeah, the average user was burning $4,800 a month in tokens.
Wow. Well, no wonder they. So I have friends that use Claude that are really pissed off about this, and their biggest problem now is they're saying now they're getting charged more for tokens than they initially were paying on the max plan. So it's like they're like exponentially paying more for the rest of the tokens they need, and they say it's not fair. Do you guys have a similar? Do you guys have any program like that? That's like that max type plan with Gemini?
So, I mean, I would say most developers have been spoiled. Like the business case is so obvious.
They got hooked up.
Developers, a couple 100,000 a year. If you can make them 10%, 20%, double, triple, 10x more productive with AI, the ROI is so obvious you don't need a business case.
Yep.
But the developers have been spoiled because of this prolific war that we're in between Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google. To gain share, we've practically been giving it away. I think those days are over.
Okay.
You can't just be losing money. I think the private markets are tapped out on building out.
It's inevitable for the price to go up.
I think it is going to go up for the frontier models.
Okay.
If you want the best of the best, you could use last year's models, and those tokens cost a lot less.
Well, there's all these Chinese open source models and stuff too that are like crazy cheap. So
that's right.
If you want to give your data to China, you can do that.
And there's many companies that are going that direction. It's true.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with the US frontier models. I mean, that's where I would rather trust my data. I'm not saying that, all these companies are 100% above board, but I'd rather them than, going with DeepSeek and some other, Chinese companies out there.
I mean, in all the conversations I've been in with many companies and executives, it's actually never come up. It's not even under consideration to use.
They don't even, Well, I see these friends that like post about it on like Facebook, and they're like, oh, here, use the Minimax or use DeepSeek and all these things. I'm like, no, I'd rather just pay a little bit more and, feel safer anyways. So.
Agreed.
One thing you were talking about is the, adoption that you can kind of pay as adoption increases. And I wonder how we get more companies to get everyone else on board. Obviously, like you said, there's those early adopters. If we sign on a company, there's probably 10% that are, using it heavy on week one, but then there's another 20% using a little bit. And then there's another 70% that hardly use it at all. And I know that from, my previous business, a lot of people just don't even want to start using it. Do you guys have like a class or something you do to get everyone like on board and amped up for this stuff?
Yeah. I mean, that's part of what me and my team does, which is we talk to these companies, we convince them, it's always going to be us versus Microsoft Copilot, which is OpenAI, now Anthropic, versus Anthropic, Claude Enterprise, and OpenAI, Teams Enterprise.
Yep.
So first it's, okay, which tool do you want to pick? Then it's, how do we deploy this, Paul? How do we drive diffusion within our organization? And so we have teams of engineers. You might have heard this term, you might have not. You ever heard of an FDE, forward deployed engineer?
I have not.
Okay. It was actually popularized by Palantir.
Love Palantir.
It's saying, well, think about Palantir.
And they're reporting earnings today too. So very exciting.
Yeah. Where do you think it's going to go? Up?
I mean, I've been calling the after hours action wrong lately. The report will do very well, but it is so hard to know if the stock is going to react accordingly. And you can look back at this last week. I mean, these companies were, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, they all reported, they all beat, but most of them went down. Google went up, but that was the rare case.
Yeah. In the short term, the share price doesn't always reflect actual value.
It's that future spend. The CapEx is killing the market. I mean, people are, talking about war, obviously Palantir's at the war front, but you're on the frontier war front, and they're spending $750 billion in commitments right now. Like that's an expensive war. So that's why it's really hurting the share price. People are trying to figure out how they're going to be cash flow positive.
It's the economy, right?
It is. Really is. AI economy at this point.
Economy is technology. I think I heard someone say that this is now, of all GDP growth, AI infrastructure and AI spend in the US is 2%.
Wow.
That's over 75% of the growth that's
I
happening.
can say our country wouldn't even be growing without it.
In a recession. That's what I'm saying.
I would agree. Do you think? Oh, yeah. Keep going. I got a great follow up though.
The FTEs, because we had a little sidebar there. But the FTEs, that's what we will use. The companies that we're talking to, they don't have the most talented AI people embedded in their organization. Most of the best AI talent are just going to work for the tech companies. It's just the reality.
Makes sense.
And so what we'll do is we will loan
better paying jobs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a marketplace. So we will loan engineers, we call them forward deployed engineers, and we'll actually put them into their business, work with our technology to help build out specific agents to get them started. So that is one of the methods that we'll use. And Palantir is the one who kind of popularized that.
Oh, nice. I mean, Palantir is supposedly the number one enterprise sales company in the world.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, for the government, I would say.
Or the people there supposedly are the best at enterprise sales, from what I've read. That they're doing like some of the biggest ticket. I mean, I'm sure you guys have great people on your team too. I'm not knocking Google or anyone else. That's just kind of what the market said.
It's interesting because I don't really run into Palantir at all. So I think they're very focused. I think they're very focused on the government. They also have kind of a proprietary stack. So once you're in, it's very difficult to get out. So I think a lot of businesses do not like that. They don't want to be locked in, just like they were with Microsoft for the last 20 years.
Speaking of Microsoft, I wore this shirt just for you, Paul. I got Apple pissing on Microsoft, and I actually am a pretty big Microsoft shareholder, so I'm not saying they're a bad company or anything.
One stock I won't hold. I do love Apple to this day.
I wish I had more Google. I mean, I bought Google when I was in college at the time it was around like $80, $85, and it's split since then. I can't think what the split adjusted is right now, but I'm up like 3,000% or something. So pretty solid. Yeah,
I think we've talked about that. I did too. I bought some Google stock in college. I sold it, I think, at 3x, thinking I'm the best investor of all time, and it's done nothing but go up since. So when I came back, or when I got the job at Google, they pay us a lot in stock.
Yeah.
I
You
made
max out your stock options?
I made a choice that I will not sell my Google stock, and I'm glad I made that decision.
I love it. I only know how the stock options work inside Apple, and you can basically, it takes the entire range during the quarter, and you get a 15% reduction on purchase price compared to the entire range. Is it anything similar like that at Google?
Yeah, so most companies they have a stock purchase program, and that's how those work. So you can elect to use some of your income to buy stock at a discounted rate, which is usually picked as the lowest point in the prior quarter. At most of the tech companies, including Google, it's actually a part of our pay plan. So you get a salary, you get a bonus, and they just issue you stocks that vest over a period of time. So a lot of Googlers we have a program called Auto Sell, which just sells as soon as it vests. So you could just use it as income, or you can choose to keep it.
I got it. You're keeping it.
I'm keeping it.
Can you take it? Can you take your commissions as options too? That'd be fun.
You cannot. That's just cash.
Well, keep stocking it. Keep stocking it away.
Then I can buy other great stocks. Like
there you go.
We've been talking about.
So where are you and other Googlers investing? What is your other kind of go-to tech that you're investing in right now?
I mean, just as Warren Buffett says, invest in businesses that you know and understand. So I'm very heavy in tech. It's what I know. I believe in it. So
can you share your top 5 holdings with us? You know what they are?
Before we get into the next topic, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We bring content to you week over week from the market at Bullish and Beyond.
Hit that subscribe button now.
Yeah. So my top holding is definitely Google at this point, particularly after the run we've had over the last year. I think my second highest holding is still NVIDIA. It's been kind of stagnant, I'd say. It's kind of trading in a range, even though
I know
best quarters I've ever seen. But think about it. These were not, when I bought them, probably like you, my top holdings.
Correct.
They became the top holdings. So every tech stock that I've bought has risen up.
Yeah, I am murdering it on my NVIDIA stock.
Did you keep buying on the way up?
Only a little bit. I bought a bunch before, but I have added to it, but not as much recently. I mean, I wish I added more to Google. I mean, I bought some around 314, which was only like 2 months ago or something. But man, it's just on a tear. And
my third would have to be Apple. Then probably Palantir. I'm just thinking this order changes, and then
Palantir is so controversial. I mean, these people that are focused on the PE are like, oh, the price to earnings is so out of whack. It's focused on such future growth. But like you said, they're so locked in that it's like they're not going to be like losing customers. The cost to switch is just so high. And if they're already good at what they do, they're not going to pivot away. So it seems like that growth and the value, they're delivering value. So, and the government's not going to switch overnight.
I want them in our government. I think people are, they disagree with it, but this is the competitive advantage we have as a country.
Yes.
In war. You want to be powerful at technology. In military, they talk about as a military technology multiplier. So we may have a smaller army, but we have 10x better technology. We have a 10x larger army. And that's what
I mean. The wars are going to be like drone swarms fighting each other in the future. So you better have that tech that knows how to run the drone swarm.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to think when you see those videos. Like Russia, Ukraine, and imagine being a soldier on the front line and just these drones, you're hiding in a little ditch, just hoping that these drones don't see you. It's a scary future.
They'll come get you.
I don't think that you would want to attack a country that has all that tech. So
exactly,
it's about safety.
All right, so we got Palantir, we got Anduril. I mean, we got lots of kind of cool tech, driving that. So I'm always excited to see
Meta. That's the fifth one. And I bought that all the way back in college. If your buddy was here, JT.
Wow.
Crypto guy.
He is.
Pretty, have a substantial investments in crypto. All these things were things that I just took small bets in a long
Yeah.
time ago. They have just grown. So
What are you doing in crypto? Are you Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana? What are you into?
yeah, I like the biggies. Every time it rips, just like it did the last year, I'll pair some of my Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, and then I'll buy some of the smaller coins, thinking
Yep.
they're going to rip. I got burned a little bit on this last run, but I think
Oh
it's
my
resuming.
God.
It
My
feels
smaller
like it is.
coins were down 75%.
Well, the good thing about crypto is you can sell them at a loss, and there's no washables. You can just rebuy them and take those losses and
Oh, there you
be on your
go.
taxes. I think that's a under discussed benefit of
So people that
investing.
don't know what Paul's talking about, if you were to sell a stock, you cannot buy it back within a 30-day period and take that loss. So crypto doesn't play by those same rules. That's good to know.
Yeah, so you can pile up. I've got a ton of losses, even though my overall portfolio has gone
It's still
up
up.
because of crypto. So it is a good benefit.
Speaking of crypto, really big news that came out today was clarifying these reward rules that the companies can offer, like Coinbase specifically. That, they initially the government was saying they wouldn't be able to offer, staking rewards and stuff like that. And they kind of clarified it today, and they are able to offer rewards now for people staking
Did that happen this
on
morning?
there.
The
It
Twitter
just
bill
happened.
passed?
Yeah. Well, whatever the thing is titled, I actually don't know the name
I
of
think
it.
it's actually called the Clarity Bill.
Okay, so it's up like Coinbase is up 15% on the news today. So yeah, they are
Fantastic.
very happy that came out. Yeah,
David
pretty.
Sachs. You familiar with David Sachs?
Oh yeah, he's on the All In podcast. Smart
Yeah.
dude.
Probably one of my favorite podcasts. Got me into podcasts. Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. Clearly.
There you go. What are your favorite podcasts?
Yeah, I would say All In Pod every week. Love listening to those folks. They take a perspective, as successful people in VC.
Yeah,
They're still in their arena, still going. All of them, I think, are still working very hard.
it's crazy. They still meet up for a podcast, and these guys are
They
like
love the
freaking
game.
billionaires.
They just share their information with you every week, and their perspective is it's always good. I think they see things in a unique way, and I just like listening to them. The second one I listen to a lot is Moonshot. Have you ever heard of this? Peter
I've heard of it, but
Diamandis.
I haven't listened to it yet though.
It's a little nerdier one. Um, they focus more specifically on AI, but
Okay,
also very high quality, and they're very excited about the future. They like to call them
nice.
accelerationists. And then the third one would be Bullish and Beyond, probably one of the more high quality
Woo!
podcasts out there.
We got some good stock tips on here. I hope people are paying attention, and always fun to have guests on like you. So that's always exciting.
They should. I think the topics that you all cover are the most important happening in the world right now. Makes sense to me.
I mean, AI basically is the most important thing happening. Like you said, it's driving the global economy. It's going to make or break basically what's going to happen in the world. Where do you stand on the future of AI, of, robotic takeover, Terminator style versus, utopia? What do you think about that?
Well, as a father, I think about it a lot, and it's just a technologist and someone who thinks more about the future. Um, I'm into Elon's vision. Okay, I think that we're creating AI. We're pumping money into this AI right now. It'll kind of take over our digital lives. I do think work that I do. What do I do? I spend all day sitting in front of this computer, talking to people, emailing, chatting, creating proposals. I do travel quite a bit, but that's just the human nature of being in the type of role I'm in. But could an AI do my job better than me? Often it does. I mean, I'm certainly using it to do a lot more than I
Yeah.
could before. But let's just assume that the knowledge workers, their jobs start to be taken over. We'll take that AI, that takes the digital field, the digital workforce. And then we take that AI and we put it in robots. And Google's doing a lot with Gemini robotics, and obviously SpaceX with XAI, and
Yep.
Tesla. They're going for this. Then we
Optimus,
start
baby.
then we're taking the AI and we're putting into the physical world, and we have robots. then the robots can start making more robots, and the robots start building everything that we can. I could see a future where there is not that much work left for humans. I think that's an amazing thing. People sometimes ask me, they're like, you're just here to take people's jobs, Paul. And I'm like, yeah, and I will do it as fast as we can. I'm excited about that. Why do we work? Why do we enjoy working? We've been conditioned to work. So I think there is a future where maybe we don't have to work. I think this will take some time, but if we could get to a 4-day work week, or we get to where a family feels fine on one income.
Companies have already figured out 4-day work week actually is better. People focus harder knowing they can have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, let's go there first. That'll be the transitory phase. But I do believe that at some point, and I think about this with my kids, do they need to learn how to work? Are they going to have a job?
They need other life skills, I think, at this point.
Income? Can we create abundance? If we can harness the energy, probably the biggest resource constraint we have. I mean, if you think about all the wars we have, it's about energy, right?
Yeah, oil right now for sure. It's insane.
Scarce resources.
Yeah.
So we can get away from scarce resources, and we have an abundance because of abundant energy, because of abundant labor, digital labor and physical labor. Maybe we're in a new society. That's exciting.
I like it. And to your point, energy, I think, is the biggest thing holding back AI adoption in the future. And it's not as much of a problem in 2026, but looking forward, all these data centers that they're talking about building, we're not going to have the power set up even to run them. You know, getting these, well, I think gas turbines are like sold out for like 4 or 5 years or something like that. And getting these interconnect agreements from the major energy companies takes like years to set up. Like, we literally cannot get the power to run the future data center. So we have to go harness it. I mean, Elon and, Jensen and, others are talking about going to space to, get solar power up there and have AI data centers in space, which basically have unlimited power.
It's a beautiful thing. And I think as we scale, I mean, if you think about these frontier models, the more compute, the more energy we put at these things, the smarter they get. That's why the investment is so soft. That's why all these big tech companies are so confident to put in $1 trillion, I think is where we're going next year in CapEx. But these scaling laws, as long as they continue, we'll keep putting money into it and we'll keep hitting constraints. So everyone first thought the constraints would be the chips. Then it became, energy. Now it's memory. Maybe it's fiber optic cabling. To do these.
God, memory is at a crunch. Man, SanDisk, Micron, they are on a freaking tear. I mean, I think they're both up 300% this year or something. I mean, it's wild.
We're going to keep hitting these constraints. We'll keep knocking them down. Every time we fix one, we'll find another constraint, and we'll just continue on as unabated as possible.
We got to find the next industry with the constraint, because those stocks, when we find out about those.
Agreed.
It pumps.
I think it's fiber optic cabling. I think that's next.
Okay.
Look into that. Maybe we can
there's
talk
one.
about
I know a couple companies that are into that. So that's a good little tip for everyone. So yeah, let's find those next industries that really need to get a lift. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, if you can be early and find that next constraint from an investment, that's where you make money. You've got to find it before everyone else.
So Google has so many different businesses. They don't have anything in space, though, as far as I know. I feel like that's that next frontier, is getting things into space, which is one of the reasons I really love Rocket Lab. And they got a big pump last week when Meta started talking about doing solar power in space for their data centers. Is Google working on anything behind the scenes in space that I might not have heard about yet?
Yeah, we are. One of the reasons our earning was so large just this last week is because of our 9% stake in SpaceX.
Aha! There it is.
So we're
that looks good on the books.
It sure did. But we also, I'm trying to remember the exact name. I think it's called Suncatcher, much along the same vein that Elon talks about. How do we build essentially training data centers in space by using solar, the abundant source of power from the sun? We have a project, I think it's called Suncatcher. That's very simple. Okay. How do we launch these satellites into orbit? How do we get these satellites to talk to each other? And then beam them intelligence that it's getting from this training back down to Earth so we can use it over here.
That sounds similar to this program that Rocket Labs has, that, their satellites are able to, it's like called like star detector or something like that. And, focuses on the right stars to get the most energy at whatever point during the day. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
Where are we going to get all this
I
energy?
know.
We have it. We can look up at it right now. There it is. I can see it.
The amount of energy in the Milky Way, if we could harness like 100 billionth of it, would power the world probably for the next 1,000 years.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's probably just insane. It's almost surprising we haven't spent like more money at like a government level or something like that to actually get that energy from out there. Like we spend so much money trying to figure out oil, but like we're not going after the most abundant source in the world that will, I guess it'll end in 4 billion years or something like that. But if humanity makes it that long, I'd frankly be shocked.
I think it's shocking that the government isn't more involved.
Yeah.
I think in America, we allow private enterprises to thrive.
But we should fund some of that stuff. I mean, or like, at least give the tax breaks, which SpaceX has had tax breaks, but it's not going towards necessarily, harnessing the most powerful energy in the world.
You know what I think part of it is? Like me and you, we love AI. We believe in it. We're using it in our daily lives. We're trying to understand it. We're experimenting.
Yeah.
But most people, I heard that AI in general to the average American is more unpopular. It's like the most unpopular thing there is. It's more unpopular than ice.
They're scared. More unpopular than ice. Oh my God. Ice. And they're not very popular.
So if you're a politician and you want to invest,
AI agent versus ice agent,
it's not a good place to build your stump speech off of.
I guess that's true.
I think that is a reckoning that we're going to see over the next, administration of how do politicians, do they start a war against AI companies? Do we promote AI?
The problem is politicians are mostly old, and we're just going to have to call it out because they're not of our generation, thinking AI first. And their constituents that they're probably talking to are also of that generation, and they're not using it and they are scared of it, to your point. So it might take a whole generation maybe to get that flip.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. We'll have to see where this.
We need some more young blood in there, but I mean, I don't know about you, but I would never want to. I would never want to be in government. I would be a terrible life. You'd be so scrutinized, you couldn't do anything.
It's a tough place to try to please everyone, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, if we start over, we're not going to go to government, but let's say we were starting over at the beginning of the AI economy. How would you position yourself to win in the AI war?
Yeah, I think what a lot of people say, and I agree with it, it seems so simple. But when I talk to someone and they ask me, how can I be successful in AI, or what should I be doing, Paul? It's don't talk to me. Talk to the AI.
Ask it.
It really is. Start using the tools not as a search engine. Start going much deeper.
Conversation partner.
I always say like the phase one is, I'm going to use this like a search engine. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to get an answer.
Yeah.
I think the next phase of usage is kind of using it as a thought partner. Here's my argument. Give me 10 reasons why I'm wrong, and start to see the other sides of things as a thought partner. And then the third would be start automating different things in your life. That's where I think a lot of the value is going to come in, where people are going to start to go, wait, this is way more helpful than I thought, because it's doing things for me without my that I trust. They have to trust it, but it's doing things for people to help them through their daily lives, save them time, save them money, maybe make them money. But you've got to be using the tools. It's changing so fast that if you're not learning it now, you're already behind.
Of course. So to improve your life, are you setting up your own customized gems? I think they're called in Gemini, yeah.
So I think, in my personal life, the use cases are more like help me, plan a trip, help me understand things that I want to see when I go to Japan. I went last summer and I pretty much used AI exclusively.
Did your whole trip for you?
Every detail. It was great. I use it to help give bedtime stories to my kids, these types of things.
I love custom bedtime stories.
Yeah, it's so good. You put your kids as characters in
the
story.
I know. You make them the hero.
Choose your own adventure. But I think in your work, that's where I'm more productive, right? That's where I'm looking at how do I make myself more productive when I'm trying to make money, which is during the
Yeah.
week. And so
Are you using enterprise agent or you're using the consumer gem for stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely enterprise agents. And as a Googler, I have access to an abundant amount of tools and experiments that we're running internally, things before we share with the world.
Nice.
So my, tooling and environment for AI is a little spread out.
A little different than most.
It's a little spread out. I mean, there's just so many different ways that we use it and so many experiments we have. But for a business, you would buy an enterprise grade tool like ours is called Gemini Enterprise.
Yep.
And all of them have, secure enclaves of where you can trust the data is not going to be shared with us for training and this type of stuff. And then what we're talking about these days is agent building. So using AI. So you would just use your words to say, hey, I want an agent that checks
vibe code
box and all my notes for action items that I missed over the last week and auto drafts an email to my client about the follow-up. Or you said in this meeting that you were going to send this file to this person, it can pick that up and start to just do it for you. And those little things add up to make you be able to do a lot more in a single day.
And just to clarify, we need the Google Enterprise version for that, not the Gem.
Correct. Gem is what I would consider a very rudimentary version of an agent where you just give it system instructions that you don't have to repeat over and over again. So like using the bedtime story version, I tell my Gem, my kid's name is this.
Yeah.
These are their grandparents' names. This is the city we live in. This is what the daughter's into. This is what the boy's into.
It's always ready.
Instruction, and then I said, make a story. I don't have to repeat that every time in the prompt. So it's very simple.
Yeah.
Now we have much more complex kind of ways of doing it.
If I'm building, I have a company I'm working with that's in the real estate industry, and I'm working to set up. I'm doing an AI presentation for them, but I also want to help do some AI agents. Do I need to do that inside the enterprise mode for them? They don't have it turned on at this time, but they have the whole Google suite and Google Workspace.
So do they have Google Workspace? Okay, so
they do.
Google Workspace. Then of course we have Gemini built into that.
Okay,
they're perfectly fine using that if they're a paid customer for enterprise uses. But the vast majority of Fortune 1000 companies use the Microsoft 365 suite.
Yeah,
so
this is small business. So yeah,
for them we're selling them Gemini Enterprise, which is IT focused, secure, controllable, auditable, governable environment that large companies can use to monitor usage, monitor safety, security, compliance. It's boring, but that's how big companies are. They have complex businesses with complex compliance and governance needs, and that's where we serve them with Gemini.
Okay. So, I'm a beginner with Gemini. I traditionally was ChatGPT, and I just kind of went down that path. So I'm trying to learn Gemini this weekend. Actually, I spent some time, learning it. I haven't made my first gem yet. I just got access to. They set me up as a user inside their company. So I'm thinking I can just go into the workspace now and just start teeing up some projects.
Coming from ChatGPT, if that was your main harness, how are you? What are your impressions of Gemini so far?
Really good, but I haven't done anything in the agent mode levels. That's really where I think I need to dive more into, because I've been able to, train my own ChatGPT agents and have my own, custom GPTs in there, which I've really liked. So I want to kind of recreate that experience now. And I assume it's going to be easy enough to do with, I'm asking Google how to do it, watching a couple of videos on YouTube.
Much like Apple, we try to make our tooling focused on the user, so they just know how to use it. You shouldn't need training. But check out workflows within Google Workspace. That is an automation along the line of agents that uses all the things within Workspace, Calendar, Gmail.
That's what I want for. I want their agents to be able to tee up emails and not even think about updating their calendar appropriately and stuff. Google Workflows. All right.
And then another tool that people absolutely love within that stack is called Notebook LM.
Oh, yes.
That's very useful to people.
I've read a lot about it, but I haven't played with it yet.
Yeah, check it out.
God, so many cool tools. All right, Google is absolutely crushing it. What is your prediction for Google stock in 5 years? Where is Google going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And right now, I'll tell you where it's at today. Today it is down a tiny bit. It's at 381.
Oh, still above 380.
Oh yeah,
amazing. Look, I think Google and Alphabet in general, I talked about it earlier. We have incredible distribution and user base across Google's search, Gmail, YouTube. There's just so many services, billions upon billions of users. We're integrating Gemini across everything, and we're the only vertically integrated provider.
So integrated. I love that about you guys.
I think this is misunderstood how important this is. We own our own chips. We own our own data centers. We have our own research team. Google DeepMind, best in the world. We have our own frontier model. We're never going to stop being at the frontier. Sergey, our founder, who's come back to work, has said...
That is the difference maker. That was insane.
Yeah.
And the stock's up 100% since he came back.
Founder mode. But he said publicly, I would rather Alphabet go bankrupt than lose the AI wars. So I
like it. He's all in.
We've got the right leadership. We've got the right tooling. We've got the right distribution mechanisms. I don't know how another company could compete with us in the long run. So stock's going to be up. Could be double, could be triple, could be 10x. I think we're all surprised at how big these companies are getting. I mean, $4 trillion, $5 trillion companies. It wasn't long ago when Apple breached $1 trillion and we're all like, wow.
And now they're at 4.1. Nvidia's at 5T.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
That's right.
All right, so it's at 380 today. I'm going to predict this coming in the 900s 5 years from now. So 2.5x.
I hope that you've undershot it.
I hope so too. I mean, I would love it. I mean, Google is, obviously one of the top companies in the world. I think they're going to be in that same sphere at the end of the decade. I think there's only be a few companies that are at that $10 trillion mark. I think Apple, Nvidia, and Google will probably be the 3 richest companies in the world at that time.
Yeah. And I think, being on the inside and seeing how hard we're going after this, there's a lot of humility here that we have to compete. We are in a war.
Yes.
That maybe I didn't see that same vigor and energy when I first started the company. So it's
do you guys use that word internally when you're talking about, going against the companies? Is it war?
No, we don't say that internally.
Okay.
We don't. But we're competing.
I don't know if you had a war room. Some companies have a war room they go into. They do strategy and like, all right, how are we going to beat every company? And
yeah, I mean, we're competitive. We understand that we have competition, and that's what's good for all of us, right? If there wasn't 3-4 people competing with the funding that they all have, and I don't know if we'd be where we are.
It's true. Speaking of vertical integration, I think that's one of the keys to the future. And there's a few companies that I love that are vertically integrated, like Google, like you said, is one. Tesla, number 2.
Yes.
They are incredibly integrated. Apple,
yes.
I mean, they own the entire hardware software stack, all their stores and all the services. Another one is Rocket Labs. And I think those companies being that vertically integrated, that's how they win going forward. They're not relying on anyone else to win. And when it comes down to not having enough chips, not having enough, services, these companies aren't going to have a problem because they've already built the whole stack.
Yeah. You don't want to be Microsoft distributing other people's technology and trying to make it work within your software that was built 20, 30 years ago. I don't think that's a good position.
Sounds like I should sell my Microsoft stock and go back to Google or Apple.
I mean, they've had ways to survive this long and compete, so I don't discount their ability to find a way to do it without. I would never be on Team Microsoft based off of where I see things going.
Microsoft doesn't seem as sexy. If I was an engineer, or on the go-to-market AI team like you are, like I would want to work for Google or OpenAI. It just seems way more exciting than working at Microsoft.
Yeah, we have a lot of ex-Microsoft that have come over to Google for that very reason.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Better to be here?
I make a joke. It's like during COVID, the whole world went crazy. They did, right?
Sure.
But they also went crazy, not just for COVID. People actually thought that Microsoft was an innovative company with their partnership with OpenAI. And here we are a couple of years later. Copilot, they have 3.3% adoption of paid Copilot licenses.
That is crazy. And I don't even like use Copilot. So I'm kind of right there with them. It's a little bit surprising that they're lacking in that.
It is. It is and it isn't to me, because what's the last great thing that Microsoft released?
Office.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Office 365.
I'm thinking.
Well, I'm not a Windows guy, so I can't claim to have used Windows, but maybe I used it at school back in the day or something.
That's how far back I have to go in my head. So.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're on Team Apple as well. And you told me that some of the Googlers are asking questions about how much Apple you use.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm on a MacBook right now. At Google, they allow employees to have the tools that they want to use.
As they should.
I think they make the best hardware in the world, and we did the Gemini deal. Gemini will be powering Siri, so that's really exciting.
I can't wait to see what that's like, because right now, just how it actually is going to work. Because right now it has to ask you if it's going to use ChatGPT or not, which it's that I don't like that middle step. I just want it to give me the answer. So will Siri directly work with Gemini?
You have to escalate Siri to open.
Yeah, I don't want to have to do that. It's this middle step, and then half the time it does, half the time it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's going to have more root access to give you personalized intelligence, which is what Apple's been talking about, right?
Yes.
So it needs to have context of what's happening inside of your phone. Apple, of course, will do it in a very secure way, so your data doesn't.
Are they gonna install Gemini onto my phone? I wonder, and it's gonna fully integrated on device, or is it still gonna go to the cloud? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you the exact plans of the deal, but you could imagine an edge model inside of your phone.
That's what I think.
That can process. I mean, that's how Pixel phones work today. There's a small version of it that's built into the OS that can do small things. You write a text message. But when it needs to do something more complex and start to have an understanding across your all the apps in your phone of what's going on. We have some really cool features where, say you text me and say, "Hey, what are you doing Friday?" And I'd already made plans. It's like a little magic box up and it says, "Hey, this is where you're going, Paul." It's starting to have an understanding.
Oh, I like that.
Of what's going across your phone. Yeah. iPhone's always going to be a couple years behind Android, but you'll figure that out one day.
I know. That is frustrating. I hear you. I mean, Apple's AI is, working on the phone, but it's completely hidden. Like it does different suggestions and things like that. It knows where I'm going and, throughout my day, and, so does my car. But it's not to the point where it's going to prompt me to not take that meeting because there's something else on my calendar. That would be a nice little feature. I like that.
This is where it starts to get a lot more powerful, when it's really, truly your personal assistant.
The true Googlers that are obsessed with Google phones and, compared to my Apple, they make fun of me that I'm behind, just like you said. It is this weirdly 2-year kind of back. And it's everyone's freaking out that Apple's going to open a book phone. And, Google's had flip phones for a long time. Yeah. It's so interesting. That's they wait so long to come to market. They try to perfect it, and we'll see what happens.
It goes back to people don't change as much as you would think. It's very hard. I know Google has certainly tried to win over Apple users for a long time, and I don't think we've made much of a dent as far as the high end of the market.
Yeah. Well, in terms of phones, it's actually getting even worse for Android switchers compared to Apple. I mean, it's 96% of people said they're going to buy an iPhone, up from 94 last year. And it's I think 85 or 86% of people that are on Android say they're committed again to buy the next one on Android. So, I mean, yeah, Apple is just so sticky.
People pick their camp and they stick to it.
I know. I can't switch. I mean, you'd have to come out with something that was mind-bending for me to want to switch.
That's right. And that's what happens. You could be 20% better. It may not be enough to compel a company.
I need 100%.
You need something innovative and groundbreaking. So we'll see what the next slew of devices for AI is. I think a lot of us are going, it's probably just a smartphone. That is your hardware device.
What about the glasses? I mean, Google Glasses were out way before their time. It was not cool to wear Google glasses 20 years ago. But now I think glasses might make a big comeback.
Yeah, I mean, everyone called them the glass holes. I think I experienced this recently. I was at an event. I was at our conference, and people had those meta glasses with the cameras there.
Yeah,
it does make you a little uncomfortable. It's like I don't.
It does. Are you recording this? And we're not sure.
Recording. Yeah, but for sure. I mean, if you can get AI in there and you get the battery life right, and you have kind of augmented vision on top of the real world, I think that is an exciting use of AI.
When we're at a conference, I always struggle knowing people's names. That would be my number one feature. Just my glasses, drop a little pin, says, "Hey, this is Paul," in case you forgot. Like, that would be amazing.
This is what you talked about last time.
Can't wait for stuff like that. Oh, so close. And Apple, in their tradition, they're going to come out with glasses, next year. Wait till everyone else already kind of perfected it and got that use case out, and then drop their version.
Then they'll do it better. Then they'll do it better. And it'll be inside the ecosystem. So I never count Apple down.
No, definitely not.
Turnus era, right?
Yes, Turnus, like you said. I mean, he's coming out strong. He's the product guy. I can't wait to see what he comes up with, and maybe he's going to dial AI up a notch. Oh man, waiting to see.
That's right.
Well, it's been an exciting conversation, Paul. Thanks for giving us all your insights on Google's, go-to-market AI and the frontier models. Super fun. How do people get a hold of you and follow you in the future?
Yeah, I'm not really like a public figure per se, but I'm on, I'm on LinkedIn. If that's where you can find me, I suppose.
Paul Jellison, Paul. Jellison is Jellison. And when you're not on LinkedIn, you're probably out, DJing or something cool, because I know you got some DJ skills.
Nah, I'm more just being a father these days.
I love being a dad too. It's a lot of fun, and teaching our kids technology is great too. So,
absolutely. Hey, thanks for having me, Brian. This was great. Great discussion.
All right, cheers, man. You're always welcome to come back. We'll talk about more Google stuff in the future.
Awesome. Till next one.
Cheers. Everyone subscribe to Bullish and Beyond. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bulls. That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps, and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond, LLC, reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.